I hope you all are having a great day so far. It's our weekend, ready to go for our weekend. Today we have another great Tejano virtual event to present to you. Today we are going to have the department at EPCC called Continuing Education for Health and Fitness. So I hope you all enjoy this presentation. Just sit back, mute your mics, and enjoy. And right now we'll be presenting the director of the Continuing Ed program for Health and Fitness, Ms. Cheryl Stiles. So go ahead whenever you're ready, and I will be recording.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to go over a little bit of what we do and what we offer for the college here. We are a pretty big department. And what we really have is any healthcare related program or licensure that doesn't require a degree, but does require the training and the clinical hours, the lab hours, that type of thing, and that allows a person to sit for that licensing or certification within that program. So there are several that we offer, and our classes all give you an entry level into that job market, as it says here, and then we, as I told you, meet the certifications and the requirements for health professionals. The other thing we do also have is classes for those who are already licensed in the community to be able to come back and get their continuing education hours that are required for their continuing licensure. An example of that, I'm a dental hygienist, and in order to keep my license current, I have to have 45 hours every renewal period. Also a licensed insurance agent, and I have to have my 36 hours every 2 years for that in order to keep my license. So those are the type of things that we offer for especially healthcare related to get those CEU requirements done. All of our courses are non-credit. We do have a lot of offered courses with credit. So if people want to take certain courses with us but don't need it for credit, then we have classes within those courses. But everything that we offer and administrate is all through a non-credit portal, should we say. Of course, we have fitness classes too, and those are pretty awesome, but they don't require licensure or anything for you to take them. Our two big programs are massage therapy, is a 525-hour program, takes you less than a year to become eligible to take the licensing exam with the Texas Department of Regulation and Licensure, TDLR, License and Regulation. And then Nail Tech is a 624-hour program. And as well, it is less than a year. And then you finish that program, you're eligible to sit for the state licensure. Within both of those programs, we do offer those CEU courses for those who are already licensed in the community, but can come back to us to continue their licensure requirements. And we're trying to build on all of those. So if anybody has any ideas and things they want to see, we'd gladly listen to you. The other health related classes that we offer are basic life support, both the initial and the renewal. Those are 5 and 4 hours each. We have an 8-hour first aid program, which is the only one that's accepted for all of the healthcare programs on the credit side and the non-credit side in EPCC. We offer for advanced classes for paramedics or first responder type trainings. That's the advanced cardiac life support and the pediatric advanced life support classes. We offer CEU classes for dental personnel. And then we have a whole schedule of journey to wellness classes, things from relaxation, weight control, psychic development. We have a whole bunch in there that are really very popular with the community. We do have medication aid, and to go with that, we have the medication aid update, which again is one of those CEU classes so that people who have their medication aid license can continue with that. They have to do it every 2 years. We have a great selection of Ed2Go classes, which is a third-party vendor, and we only have a very small selection in our actual catalog, but anybody who goes and wants one of those courses, we can always get you signed into that so that you can take that course. And those range anywhere from training courses for nurses. There's a veterinary assistant course. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think what all we have in there. But like I said, what's in our catalog is a very small selection of what's actually available to us. So if you have a question, you have something you don't see on there, you want to see if we can do it, let us know and we will definitely do it. As I already mentioned, we do have the concurrent health ed courses that go on with, let's see, I know we have those with the pharmacy tech. We have them with several of the EMS courses. So anything like that, if somebody's needing to take it but doesn't need actual grade credit on transcript for it, then we can get a seat through ours, and then they just take it as basically a credit, or not credit, but you either get the class or you didn't pass the class, one or the other. We have a great selection of fitness classes, very well attended. We hardly ever do not have a full class. They're almost always full. The big one you can see there at the end, we added it's coming up in the spring, and that's belly dancing. I am looking so forward to that class, but I thought that this was a great thing we could add to our fitness lineup. And we did it starting in the spring. So the yoga classes, the Zumba classes, those are almost always maxed out. The abdominal and weight toning is a very popular class. The golf class is in the summer, and it's offered through Ascarity Park and the Golf Pro over there. And any of those classes we have that are available, you can always contact us. We can get involved and get you registered and get you going in it. There's the registration process, and you can always contact us directly. There's our email and our phone number at the bottom. And we kind of prefer, if people have any questions or concerns, they come to us, because who knows what you get told other places, but we're always available to help you with that registration. We're always available to answer questions for you, find out information for you. And something that I always tell people is, don't be afraid to ask questions, because if I don't know the answer, it makes me go find it, and now I've learned something too. So I'm always happy to do that for you. And keep in mind that any of our classes that we offer, if you are an employee of a full-time employee of EPCC, then there is a financial aid scholarship available for you, so that we can or excuse me, called staff scholarship, not financial aid, that we can help process so that those classes would be paid as part of your employee benefits. But that would be about it. And we have always available to ideas, always available to explore an opening or a concern or an idea with you. And that's about it, Miss Sanchez. What do you think?
Sure. Does anyone have questions for Ms. Stiles? So I'm sharing a link. I'm going to share it in the chat. Now, this is to the catalog. I see that you all have the spring 2023 up, and I'm going to go ahead and everybody look at your slide here so you can get the contact info before I switch off, because I'd like to kind of show everyone where they can see this great catalog in the web page for the college. So while I do that, if maybe you could talk, because I see that there's a lot, sometimes depending on your program, you may have to go and get all sorts of like pre-work, like you have to get your immunizations and things like that. That's correct for some of the, depending on what you're going to take?
Yes, for all of the healthcare classes, there is a list of prereqs, and that is mostly because of the clinical sites that the student will be going to finish out their program, and that is the certain blood titers, certain vaccinations, that type of stuff. The BLS that I was mentioning earlier that we have in the first aid are required for nearly every one of our health programs. And then going through that list of, it's listed in our catalog. It's usually around page 9 or so that it's in there where our stuff starts. But it does go, the prerequisites, like I said, the immunization, you have to finish the HIPAA training, the drug screening and background checks are required. And again, Those aren't EPCC things. Those are for the clinical sites the students go to afterwards. Or not afterwards, as part of their program, I should say.
Sure, sure. And so is there a certain date that you recommend that people start investigating when they start, if they're interested, let's say in January, in trying to enroll for this, when is the best time to start? Is it already now or it's
It's
previous?
probably already now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wait till the date that registrations are due and that's the end of it, then it's really too late, because we have to have all of this stuff done ahead of time. And everything except for the drug screening and the background check are required. And once you get a letter from us that says you have a seat in that program, then that's when you'll be advised to get that background check and drug screening done.
Okay, so it's already good if you're going to be going into one of the programs such as massage therapy, or if you're going into the nail technician program, to go ahead and start getting everything, or if you're getting something of the healthcare, to start looking
Yes.
at those now, just so that
Right.
you can go ahead and be ready to go. Okay,
Yes, that was very
sure.
advisable.
Okay, great. And so Patricia has put in the chat the information from this slide so that you'll have that information at your fingertips. And what I wanted to kind of show everyone was where you can find this catalog. And I was surprised to see we already have spring 2023 up, which is great. So we can already start planning for that. So to
We
find
are,
this, correct?
I'm sorry.
No,
We
go
are
ahead.
already working on summer of 23, so we are always ahead on those catalogs. That's why planning is so important.
Oh, well, that's great. So always look here early. It's not going to be right as spring starts. It's already here. So if you want to look for this catalog, what you'll do is you go to the EPCC page and you're going to click on menu. And then you're going to see where it says academics. And then you're going to see the catalogs and schedules. And then you see workforce and continuing education. So this is under continuing education. And then you'll see a whole page devoted to these programs. And you'll see here's health and fitness right there. But if you want to actually see the entire catalog and schedule, they actually do have it here, as well as if you go to the campuses, there are printed versions of the schedule. Yeah, they have Children's College too. But you'll see here that they have spring 2023 already up. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll just put that link in the chat so you'll have the link directly to that catalog right there.
And
then,
our
go ahead.
programs start usually somewhere around page 9-ish. So if you scroll down there, I don't remember exactly what page it starts on this year.
So it looks
you're
like you're going to be on 11.
There you go. That's us.
Yeah. So these are those prerequisites she was mentioning. Depending on which program you go into, you may be required for some of these prerequisites. And then you have your first aid, BLS, all of that training right there. First aid, emergency, and dental. What is your most popular program?
Ooh, I don't know that I could tell you a most popular one, because they're almost all full every semester. Now, before I took over this position 3 years ago, our waiting list for phlebotomy was absolutely ridiculous, and we started opening new sections and hiring new faculty, and we've whittled that down to where we don't really have a waiting list. But I'm told before I started that they had to register in person, and that people literally camped out overnight to get to be the first come first serve. I changed that, and then COVID, of course, changed it too, but we don't do that anymore. So the waiting list is still there. It's just usually not 2 years long like it used to be.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I used to see them camped out.
Yeah, most of our courses are full. A lot of our courses are state mandated by Health and Human Services or TDLR on how many students to faculty ratio. So sometimes that's what closes our class, because for instance, nail tech, it's a 10-to-1. She cannot have more than 10 active students. Our nurse assisting program is also 10-to-1. So we can't enroll 11 students. So that's why getting all those prereqs done and getting all that preliminary work done first to guarantee you a seat in that can get you started at the time that you want to start it. Now you're scrolling down there through a bunch of our Ed2Go courses.
Yeah.
And like you said, those are all third-party vendor. And we can get, anybody can take those. Obviously, some of them aren't applicable to everyone. But then if there's something, if you go to Ed2Go's catalog and you see something that's not on our catalog, we can always open that for you.
Okay, great. So basically, if there's something you're interested in, get in contact with your office, and then you can let them know what could be available to them.
Most definitely.
And I see you even have a TEAS prep series, so that's going to be great for anyone who's going into nursing and things like that.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Great. And medication aid.
And medication aid is a extension of our nurse assisting program. So once you're medication aid, a nurse assistant, a license to do that, you can come back and take the medication aid, which just increases your employability. It increases the pay schedule, and it just gives you that extra level of responsibility as a nurse assistant.
Okay. And I see here, like for the medication aid, there's even a fingerprint-based criminal history. So you do have to give plenty of time so you can have all of this completed in time.
And again, that's the clinical sites that require that because of the population that their employees are working with.
Sure. And then you have health unit coordinators. And then
that's another extension that you can add on to a nurse assistant career. And again, just moving yourself up the pay scale and the employability.
So a lot of these right now are jobs that are in demand, just
Definitely.
because there's such a need for healthcare. So these are some good ones to consider if you're not sure what you want to go into. Definitely good to consider.
Yes. And some of them, like nurse assisting, if you're thinking about nursing school, which is a credit program, you might want to become a nurse assistant to give you that base information, but also see if that's what you're cut out for. Maybe something you don't want to do, and you'd hate to get into third year of nursing and think, I do not want to do this. So a lot of them are good precursors for that.
Oh, that's great. Sure.
Now, our phlebotomy technician is very popular. And then to supplement that, we have just opened a new, if you scroll a little bit further, it's called our donor phlebotomy technician. That's an extension of being a phlebotomist. And that allows a whole different environment to work in blood collection, in plasma centers, in dialysis centers. And it's a whole nother level of employability and pay scale increase.
Nice. And so that's a brand new brand.
Right below that, you see the patient care technician. That is also something that's new to us at the time. Right now, credit is actually mimicking that. I'm not sure what the word, they're cloning it to make it a credit program. But what the patient care technician does is you have a phlebotomy license, you have a nursing assistant license, you come in and take that EKG technician. So that's 3 certifications or licensures already. Then the capstone is that patient care tech. So somebody could leave that patient care tech course having 4 certifications and moving up the scale, like I said, employability and pay.
Awesome. So for that, it's down here that it goes into EKG technician. So it's saying the prerequisites is that you are already trained in these areas to become a patient care technician overall. Okay.
Yes.
So it has all the other. Awesome.
It's like the capstone to those things.
Okay. And so here's an EKG technician. If that's of interest to you, you have to have your BLS. So you have to really read on the description what you need prior to starting, so that way you're prepared. And again, reach out to them if you have questions.
We have flyers for all of these. So if somebody wants to email us and say, hey, what do we need to do to be EKG? My staff is awesome. They've already got a flyer. They can send it to you and answer questions.
Oh, great. And so what about financial aid? Does that cover any of these?
Unfortunately, that's a burr under my blanket, and no, CE students are not eligible for financial aid. They are eligible for certain loans through financial aid. And we do have, last year we had a very generous grant that helps students pay. It was all in with the patient care technician. And if you were in any of those courses, it was a very generous grant. Hopefully we can get that repeated. Right now it's not, but there is that available when we have it.
Okay.
But you can see the cost on most of these is very affordable. We're not talking thousands of dollars, and we're not talking years worth of time. So that's something for continuing ed that many find very agreeable, is they're not in school for 3 or 4 or 5 years trying to get that certification. When I became a dental hygienist, it was 4 years of training, 2 years of prereqs, 2 years in the program. Then you could start practicing. You could do EKG tech, it's 48 hours, and you can get hired as an EKG tech.
Wow, this is awesome. And so basically, if you think, oh my goodness, it's so expensive, $600, I may not have it, reach out to you all, because there could be options, and you can let them know about what can be done maybe to help them find sources to finance their classes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's great. And it is very reasonable. And so then here's some more information on these Ed2Go classes. So there's so much in here.
Well, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, the wellness ones. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we have a whole section of our own wellness classes that aren't on Ed2Go. So that's all I was going to say. These that are showing online here, those are Ed2Go classes. But then when you start at fitness, those are all ours. And then it goes on from there. You'll see the other items that we have that are our courses. They're not third-party vendors.
Okay, and you see that they're at different campuses. So, if you're at one of these particular campuses and they're offered at lunch or in the evening, so there's opportunities, or Saturdays even. There's opportunities if you have a busy schedule. And even golf, look at that. And there's your information on your belly dancing.
That's taught by the golf pro at Ascarity Park.
That's neat. Very cool.
He also does a section through Children's College for the youngsters.
Okay, so make sure you don't look for it. Yeah.
If you want to go to golf as an adult, it's through us. But if you want your kiddo to go, then we send you over to Children's College and do that. That's another one of our departments within the continuing education.
And now here's all of the programs you were mentioning about the massage therapy, nail tech. They're very popular, you said.
Yes. And we do have massage therapy in Spanish. We do have nail tech in Spanish.
Okay.
So they're taught completely in Spanish. And then we are in the process of adding nurse assisting in Spanish. Another one of my little ideas that I think is going to be wonderful. And then after that, you're into law enforcement, another one of our continuing ed departments. Not mine, but another one.
Well, this is great. And so you do have the course offerings in Spanish, so you would just get in touch with you all to find out about those?
Yes, ma'am. We can put you in the right information, and the CRNs are different, and then the times are different too. So now the reason you see, like say a nail technician right there, that you don't see any CRNs to register, that is because the class is ongoing, and you wouldn't start till the next class begins in the summer, because the nail tech and the massage are they have to go one to the next to the next to the next. You can't come in and say, oh, I think I'll just take nail enhancements. So that's why in that particular one, those courses do not start in the spring. That's why there's no CRNs there. But the registration to either one of those is I don't want to say blocked. It's prohibited because you need to come to us to go through because there's things we have to do ahead of time, and in order to let somebody register for those classes. You can see the massage, though, the fundamentals class, that's #1 of the whole series. You can see it does have some start dates there, and that would be because it's starting in the spring. Nail tech won't be finishing up, and a new one starting into the summer. What was that question? I barely saw it about Spanish.
It's saying if the state licensure exam for nail tech, would that be something offered in Spanish as well, and for massage?
It's my understanding that the TDLR does not allow that, and the students are aware when they start the program that those testing will be in English, and they actually sign an agreement saying they understand the test is in English. We have such a wonderful prep, though, for those tests that our pass rate is just phenomenal. So I don't think that would ever be a problem.
Okay, well, great. So thank you so much. This has been a lot of great information. Now, does anyone have any questions? I have put in the chat box, I have put the information again. If you look back a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put it again. This is the catalog so that you can see exactly what I'm showing you here on this page. I'm going to put the link in the chat box. And then you have the link to the information on how to get in contact. Now, do you all have a physical office, or it's by email or phone?
Oh, no, we have a physical office, and it's beautiful, may I say. We moved in here a little over a year ago. We're in ASC B building, excuse me. And you take the second hallway and go all the way to the back. We're the last office on the left.
Okay. Okay,
But
so it's at the Viscount office on the
yes,
B building.
Viscount, we're right behind the Fountain Mall.
Perfect. And so then you go to B building, and that's where they're located. Now, and to register, you said you can go to any admissions office, and they even have it. Do they still have it where you can register at the ASC as well in the B building?
Yes. As far as I understand, you can. You can also do it online. And we're more than happy to help you do it here, either in person or on the phone. We do have a virtual office that's included, or that's open still from our COVID days. I could post that link in the chat box if you'd like me to.
Sure,
And
please.
our virtual office is always manned 8 to 5, Monday to Fridays, never a time that it's not. And my staff is just phenomenal on helping people with whatever they might need. Uh-oh, did I just close us? What did I do? Oh, there we go. I minimized it and missed it. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Let me see here, chat. If I can figure out how to do this because it's not showing on my side.
So would it be the page that's on the screen right now, the one that says get connected? Would that be where they'd go for continuing ed, or is it a different one?
That I think would take you to the whole department, the workforce.
Okay.
Where do I open the chat so I can post that in there? Because I can't
Down
see it
at
on
the
my
bottom, it has a box with an arrow. I'm sorry, a bubble. You see the purple bubble at the bottom? And then when you open that, it opens the purple. You don't see that one?
No, I don't have that purple bubble. That's what I was looking for to be able to do that. But let me see. Maybe I could. Oh, I didn't have my screen up high enough. That's why. Hold on just a second.
Oh, there you go.
Open panel pro chat. Okay, here we go. Find somebody. I don't want to find somebody. I want to just put a chat in here.
So you'll just want to click on the purple bubble and click on the chat on the left, and then make sure it's on everyone. You just hit that arrow and it takes you.
Ah, you're so smart. And obviously I'm not. There's our virtual office. As I said, it is manned Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. My staff is awesome about making sure that it never goes unmanned. And I shouldn't say manned, I guess that's, they're all female, unstaffed.
So I think it's still waiting to load the information. I don't know if you have to hit
Oh,
send.
there,
There
it
it
just
is.
popped up on
Perfect.
mine. There you go. And
Yes,
afternoon,
perfect.
it says afternoon Zumba held in person next semester. I have to look at the schedule on that. We do have Zumba that's available both in online and in person.
Can
So
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's because I saw the catalog. It's just that I saw only from 12 to 12:50, and I was
that's
looking for after 5.
Well, that's Zumba for lunch. Look, right below that is our Zumba classes that are 5 to 6, 6 to 7. And those are at ASCA and then online, alternating depending on the times. So it's page 19 if you're trying to get to that on the catalog.
Oh, there you go.
See that one is all Zumba. The above that Zumba at lunch, and the other one is Zumba in the evenings.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I was wondering if you have anything scheduled for Valle Verde, because I live very close to Valle Verde, even though we work over here in Mission. But we used to have Zumba classes at 5:30 at Mission Del Paso and at Valle Verde in person.
Well, at Mission, we don't have anybody going over to Mission right now. So right now, the only Zumba in the evenings that we have is at ASCA. But if you know a Zumba instructor who would be willing or wanting to go over there, all I have to do is credential them, get them hired, put a schedule on, and we can do it.
That would be great. How many students do we have to make the class? Because in the past, we used to get the students together so we could have the class.
It depends on how many hours the class is offered. And it's usually around 6. It just depends. There's a whole formula I have to do when I submit a new class. And it depends a lot on how many hours the instructor is teaching each section, whether it's a 12-hour, 10-hour, 20-hour class, and that type of thing. So, but a good rule of thumb is 5 or 6 students for most classes to have it make. And the reason that is because as continuing ed, we are self-supporting. So I have to have a minimum number that pays for the course. It pays for the instruction, it pays for the room rental, it pays for supplies, that type of thing. And that's what sets that stop, that we have to have a minimum amount of people to go ahead and make the class. And it's kind of sad, but that's the way it is. That's the way continuing ed is set up.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for the information. I
Yes,
used to join those classes before COVID, and we had a good group.
I'd
But
love to have you back.
yes, after COVID, everything stopped. But thank you for your information. This is
Well,
Isabel from Mission Del Paso Library. Thank you, ma'am.
think about our belly dancing class that we're opening up. It is going to be, to begin with, it is going to be at Rio Grande at the new dance room there, but I foresee it becoming extremely popular.
Thank you. And just please don't forget Mission. We have some people over here who would like to, join one of those Zumba classes or maybe any other kind of, fitness class. And
Okay, well,
we need one over here.
we did lose one of our instructors, and I would very much love to hire another instructor. So if you know anybody who's qualified, like I said, all I have to do is get them credentialed and get them a schedule, and we can go.
We'll let them know for sure and see if they are, they want to join
Deal.
EPCC.
Deal.
Thank you,
Or
ma'am. You have a great.
They may know somebody who wants to.
Well, I'll ask some people that I know because we have Paula here, the counselor, but I know she doesn't want to teach anymore. She was teaching before, Paula. And so I'll ask her, see if she wants to do it again. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else? Any other questions? So I noticed when you look at the descriptions, you'll want to look at everything like on the golf, how she mentioned it's at Escárate. So you'll see where the locations, it says here who it's taught by, that you're responsible for park fees and purchasing. So read all the descriptions and it will give you some more information, such as bring a yoga mat, dumbbell weights, a small towel, has some additional info. So always keep in touch and look at the different things you're interested in. And if you have questions, again, reach out to Ms. Stiles. So we thank you
Yep.
for being with us today and for providing all of this good information.
Of course.
Thank you. And then appreciate all of you all for coming. You've been seeing a little chat code going into the chat box that says for Tejano passport points. So if you are interested in getting Tejano passport points for coming to this workshop, you do have an ability to sign up if you haven't already. And there's the link that you can go to and use that code, and it will earn points towards getting a medallion anytime you go to events that have Tejano passport points. So again,
I
thank you all
want
for
a
coming. Yeah, you can. You can get there too. and anyone can get it, and I'll make sure that you see that link one more time in the chat. I know Patricia has put the link recently. And we are going to have another workshop next week. We are going to be having a presentation by the Advanced Technology Center Transportation Training Department. So if you come at 1 o'clock next Friday, you'll see another great workshop about everything that EPCC has to offer. So hope you all have a wonderful weekend and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.